Good afternoon. Welcome to this meeting of the St. Louis Preservation Board for February the 24th. I'll call the meeting to order. Bob, call a roll, please.
Sure. Richard Callow,
Present.
Anthony Robinson,
Present.
Captain Hammaker,
Present.
Brett and Ryan,
Here.
David Richardson.
Here.
I think that's everybody.
Okay, we have a quorum.
That's 5 people. Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Do you have any instructions to give people who are in the waiting room?
I can see both know what's going on, so I know they're here to speak on their items, so we're good on that point.
Perfect. Commissioners, has anybody read the minutes from the January 27th meeting? And if so, is there a motion?
I move that we approve the minutes from the January 27th meeting as presented.
Motion by Richardson. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Bob, call a roll, please.
Callow,
Aye.
Anthony Robinson,
Yes.
Captain Hammaker,
Yes.
Brett and Ryan,
Yes.
David Richardson.
Yes.
Thank you much.
Commissioners, looking at the agenda, does anybody need to recuse themselves from discussion of any of these items? Okay, hearing no recusals, let's begin with this agenda, calling agenda item A.
I was gonna do a real quick director's report, if you don't mind, just real fast. We can do it at the end also. Do you have a preference? I just wanted to introduce, I'm sorry, is it okay?
Yes.
I just wanted to introduce you guys to Jade Jackson. You can see on my screen, Jade's gonna walk around. Jade is our new admin assistant. She's having some issues at her computer, but you see Jade, she's our new admin. She's the new Bennett. So we're glad to have her on board. She's awesome, and we're excited to have her. Today's her first day, actually. So she gets to get thrown right into the fire, so. That's Jade.
Welcome.
Yeah,
And
welcome.
then Chris
There-
Nassiger.
There will be no fires.
There'll be no fires, none. Yeah, that's probably too soon, right? And then Chris Nassiger is on the Zoom. He is also on staff now. And he is a planner in my old spot. So we're up to full capacity, which is fantastic. So, and I know really quick, I know I promised you guys a large agenda. Things have just sort of dropped off. We're staying steady with smaller projects, but bigger stuff have just kind of petered out. So next month, hopefully we'll see more stuff. So that's it. On to item A.
Agenda item A, please.
Okay, this is Jan's. Jan could not make it this evening, so I'm gonna do this one. This is for a new it's a preliminary review over in Benton Park. It's at 2001 Lynch. It's to construct 2 attached 2-story townhouses at the corner of Lynch and Selena. This is the site in question. It's been empty for quite some time. So some context for you. Right across the street from Fremont Park. This is the site in question. Some street level context. This is the empty lot. Across the street is actually a building designed by Mr. Colleen. This is the context directly to the west of the property. And this is across the street looking at the park, and then across the park looking at the empty site. Letting in some more folks here. I'd like to note that Mr. Colleen is now here as well.
Oh, so sorry I'm late, guys.
No worries. We're just looking at your old building, actually, your one you designed. We're talking about really quick back up. We're talking about 2001 Lynch. This is at the corner of Lynch and Selena, across from one you designed across the street.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it. Mhm.
Okay. So this is the rear. It's kind of weird. This is also on Congress. So the houses that face Lynch, but Congress is also here. This is the back side of the property that faces Lynch, but then Congress, they all face Congress. So it's like an alley street kind of situation going on here. So a bunch of 3-story Second Empire buildings that front out of Congress, but face the backs of the houses along Lynch. This is the proposed site plan. I'll note at this point in time that stretch of Lynch has varied setbacks. I mean, they're all up and down. Next door is a commercial that's right at the sidewalk line, and they vary to the west. So having it slight step back, it meets the setback along there. It's going to be 2 entrances, one at the rear and one at the front. and a carport at the, along Congress. Just some proposed floor plans. This is the elevation that faces Lynch and the one that will face Congress. So it's kind of like having two front doors, a little more of a finished rear facade to kind of address both units to kind of have a more formal appearance to it versus a standard kind of a rear elevation. So there's no like actual model example, but this 3-bay brick box is kind of ubiquitous for this area. So I just had some, these are some designs that show you that what's being proposed is quite prevalent all throughout this district. This is the streetscape. Again, it's a varied block. You have next door was a former commercial building, then down the street you have a 3-story building. So it's a varied block in terms of its architecture and styles of building. But the building does fits well with the streetscape. Slight raised basement, and the fenestration, again, makes sense with the block face itself. The east elevation faces Salina and will be entirely brick. Kind of took the fenestration pattern, kind of took a little bit of inspiration from Mr. Colleen's building across the street. The developer has been great to work with staff in terms of adding like a blinded window to kind of add some features to that side. Also been good to work with us on lowering the basement egress windows for for lower level units. So they've done a really nice job doing everything we asked for in terms of modifying the design. So this is the current up-to-date design, and everything so far we've done, they've asked for. We appreciate it. And the parapet will be brick all the way up. You're just seeing on this elevation area, you're just kind of seeing stuff. Sorry, that's the parapet. You're seeing the other side. It's just kind of a see-through, but it's brick all the way to the top. We asked that the applicant run the brick back on the west side of the building substantially, and they've done so, and this elevation reflects that as well. Since there will be a garage port along Congress and along Salina, we've asked that they add a finished side to the Salina side, and they have done so. So you'll see a garage door from Congress, and then you'll see a finished side along Salina. So again, that is the presentation. I sent you all a letter late in the day Friday. They do now have support as submitted from Benton Park. Staff believes that the project complies with the standards, and we recommend approval subject to there's been some changes since this was presented to you in terms of the actual staff report, but we recommend approval subject to final details and plans and colors and materials, and they work with us on screening the 2 egress windows on the east side. Any questions for me?
Commissioners, anybody have questions for Bob?
So Bob, I'm sorry, came in a little late there. So can you quickly summarize where they're putting bricks again?
Sure. We'll go back to I'm gonna go back up here. So you'll have brick, obviously on the Salina side. That's right here. On the Salina side, on the Lynch, I'm sorry, so the face is Lynch. The front face is Lynch.
Lynch.
There'll be brick along the entire run along Salina. There'll be brick on the side that faces Congress in the back. And then they will run the brick on the west side, which is, it's right next to the building, adjacent to the west, will run down at least 15 feet down the side. So it's a pretty substantial amount of brick in the building.
Okay, thank you.
Hank Hart and the architect, Anthony Duncan, are also here if you have any questions for them.
Well, sorry, I have a question.
Sure.
Before they, so you just testified that it complies with the Benton Park standards, but then the write-up, I think, if I remember, said it mostly does, or am I making that up? Am I remembering?
Well, again, I wrote this, Jan wrote this up and she couldn't make it tonight, so I'm doing the presentation for her. I will say I'm looking through the staff report really quickly. It mentions partially complying with facade material, but that is inaccurate. It actually does comply with that.
Okay.
There was a change after the fact. So it complies with 301.6 for facade materials. It does comply with that fine. And beyond that, I think it complies totally. Honestly.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted that clarification.
No, I'm glad you pointed that out. Thank you.
Anybody have questions for the applicant? Bob, is there anybody in the waiting room with comments on this?
No comments unless the guys want to speak on it, but nobody else has something in the chat.
Okay. Commissioner Hammaker, have you got a motion?
Sorry, I'm having trouble with my muting.
Before she makes a motion, Bob, was there a contextual elevation? Oh, yeah, you did show us that. Does this thing line up okay with the houses?
Yeah, so I'm sure you know that block pretty well being over there. It's kind of a weird block. So you have this really large, kind of a mixed use building next door. There's a another commercial
Okay.
guy next to that. And then on the block, there's some newer construction. And there's some 3-story single fams. So, and then the other corner is all commercial. So it's kind of an odd buried block, but we think it does fit contextually.
Okay, very good. Sorry to interrupt you there.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Catherine?
Yes, I'm ready now. That the preservation, I move that the Preservation Board grant preliminary approval to the proposed design as it complies with the majority of the Benton Park standards for new construction, with the conditions that the brick on the southwest corner return the same distance on the west elevation as the distance from the adjacent building, that the egress windows of the east elevation be properly screened from street view, and that the final plans, colors, and materials are approved by the Cultural Resources Office.
Second,
Motion by Hammaker, second by Richardson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Bob, call a roll.
Anthony Robinson,
Yes.
Tiffany Hamilton,
I don't want to vote because I joined late, so.
we'll say
abstain.
abstain. Okay.
Abstain.
Brett Ryan,
Yes.
David Richardson,
yes.
Kevin Hammaker.
Yeah.
I think that's everybody.
Chair votes yes.
I'm sorry, Richard Callow.
Me.
And I guess we'll vote for Mr. Mike Colleen also, please. Sorry
I
about that.
mean, I live in this neighborhood. Yes.
Why you just don't.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, great. Thank you.
Olivia, did you get the vote?
We got the vote. That's on me.
Yes.
Okay, Olivia, thank you. Okay, commissioners, we're going to shift gears just a little bit and hear an appeal.
All right.
The process will be slightly different in that we will ask those who testify to affirm that they're telling the truth, and we'll ask the appellant to introduce for the record everything that they want in the record, and also the same with staff. Calling agenda item B.
Bob Bettis with staff, and I will tell the truth. Let me get the PowerPoint where it should be. Okay. I need to enter in ordinances 64689 as amended by 64925, which is our enabling ordinances. The Skinker to Bolivar ordinance, which is 70821, my presentation and my PowerPoint. Okay. Just to verify, everything the applicant has provided was sent to you. You all did receive that information, correct? Yeah, okay. I see his head shaking. Yes. Okay, great. Gail Fitzpatrick is in the Zoom, so she will, when we get to her, she can discuss that information with you. This is pretty straightforward. This is the property in question, 6154 Westminster Place. It's an appeal to install architectural shingle on the sides of this roof. The front would stay the same. The porch roof would stay the same. It's just replacing the two sides of the roof, which are visible and are currently clay tile. So we'll walk you through really quickly here. Site in question, this is, the aerial is kind of actually looking at the back, just to give you the context of how dense and packed the street is. So you can see standard Western block and Skinker to Bolivar. Some street level context, obviously the property is at the left. The roof in question is right where I'm indicating with my mouse. And then this is looking east, same thing. It's a little bit wider of a view shed back to the property on this side, on the west side of the building, looking east. And again, just verifying the two areas in question. The Skinker to Bolivar standards for roofing say if you have street visible roofing, it should be the original or one that matches the original. And the proposal is to do architectural shingle, which is obviously not the same thing. So that's why we're before you. This is the proposed shingle. It's an Owens Corning terracotta red. I'll say this, the applicant has been working with the neighborhood a lot to garner their support. And this is kind of what they came up with in order to get the neighborhood support. This shingle was picked out to compare and contrast with the existing historic material. And this is the one that the neighborhood settled on to give her their support. So the neighborhood does support the applicant's request for the variance. Again, here's some more details of the proposed material. And this is current conditions of last week after the snow. There is some damage up there and some leakage going on at the roof, and there's some tarps up there right now. So this is kind of a current condition situation. So again, the issue at hand is the two sides. What's going back is not the original material. And staff recommends that the board uphold my denial, given that it's a pretty straightforward project in terms of what is not compliant. So any questions for me?
We have questions for Bob? Okay, can we hear from the appellant?
Gail, you there?
Can you hear me?
Yep, hear you just fine.
Okay. Sorry, I don't think I have my video on. I can't figure it out.
Hey, can you tell us that you're telling the truth?
I am.
Okay. Olivia, do we need to see them?
Ideally, but I think it's okay. Make sure, please, you state your full name for the record.
Gail Ann Fitzpatrick.
Olivia, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Fitzpatrick, what would you like us to do?
Well, I would like your support in that. We've gone over several different things with the roof over the last year. This happened back in April. And I'd like your support on what the neighborhood and I have come up with an agreement. The front of the house, the tiles are pretty good. And the inside of the roof is good. It's the sides, which I did from previous problem back in 2018. I have some of the like drone shots from the insurance company. And just, this is the second leak I've had since 2018. And I'm just very fearful that there's going to be more leaks, that the side, the east and the west sides are just in bad shape. And even getting them off is going to be a problem. It's going to be, and the money is a real problem to be able to repair it the way the code wants. I definitely want to take care of it. I love my home. I have few other things I want to take care of that I've been saving for. And that is another problem. It's really just financially. If I had the money, you know, I'd be happy to do it. I want to do something that will match with the neighborhood and give me the security that I'm not going to have problems with like this again. It did come through the front bedroom. I don't want any further damage to the house. I just want to be able to do the best thing for the house and be able to take care of some of my tuck pointing and other things that are greatly needed also.
Is there anything else that you'd like to introduce for the record?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the first part.
Is there anything else that you would like to introduce for the record?
No, I don't think so. I really tried to put everything in my papers for you to see that how long we've been working on it, and I don't think so. No, sorry.
Commissioners, questions for the appellant?
Yeah, so the information regarding your Social Security and your bank accounts, is that an accurate portrayal of your complete financial situation and well-being?
I have some other financial, like they're not liquid right now. It's something that I do have something to, my projective. I've sat down with financial advisor and to be able to cover, I have some health problems, and to be able to cover some things in the future. I don't have a lot of liquid money really to be able to do the entire roof over. And that's one of my main problems is I don't want to patch because I patched in 2018 and and the roofers I've spoken to that have definitely worked with tile, specialize in tile, have all told me not to patch. And that's my concern. My finances, as far as, I'm hoping to be comfortable with everything that I have for my future, but I'm 71. I do hope to stop working right now. I thought I had things settled by working and getting the Social Security. I did not count on the roof.
Got it. And this is your primary residence, right?
It is.
Do you have a secondary residence?
No,
Okay.
no, I don't think so.
Okay. And then me either. With respect to you had insurance proceeds in 18, it looked like. How come
Mhm.
insurance isn't covering any of this time around?
They didn't, well, they covered a few areas because of some old chimney. I had like an old chimney that was not used any longer. So they covered some things in 2018, but they didn't cover the tile because it was just wear and tear.
Okay, so you submitted it to the insurance company. They denied the claim. They said it wasn't because of a accident or catastrophe. It was just old age.
Correct. Somebody had mentioned, I'm trying to think, we had like a hailstorm, I think in 2012. And that was what we were going by. And they said, yes, there was damage from hail, but it wasn't the 2012 storm. And we had some shingles that were, the south side is shingles. That's been that way before I bought the house. And they paid for that to be repaired. And then some areas that were like around a chimney that seemed to have some damage done. But they said the tile was just wear and tear. So I didn't apply this time because I figured, well, we're only older. I couldn't see them agreeing with anything.
Mr. Chairman, that's all I had.
Any further questions from commissioners to the appellant? Is there anybody in the waiting room, Bob?
No, that's it.
Okay. Commissioner Richardson, with all your questions, have you got a motion?
I would move that we overturn the director and grant a variance first based on financial hardship.
Second.
Motion Richardson, second Hamaker. Is that correct?
That's
Yes.
correct.
Okay. Is there any discussion?
I want to clarify, so the neighborhood would support this motion? I
That
was
is
looking for a
correct.
letter.
Yeah, there was no, it was, I've been speaking with Anna Marie Bliss, who is the chair. And so I have verification that she does support, that chair does support it. I've been working, there's a lot of backstory with this application. I've met with the neighborhood about it, neighbors, former mayors about it. They do have support from the neighborhood association.
Okay, thank you, Bob.
I want to clarify. So from here on out, because I know this has come up before, this roofing situation, and it gets very blurry and muddy in regards to what financial hardship is, which I believe in financial hardship. I'm just, wondering, are we gonna, if someone comes and says they have a financial hardship, are we just gonna go with that and allow for them to do the shingled roof? I guess with the Central West End and developer stating it has to be the clay roof. I'm just wondering, is that what we're doing, or?
Bob, what documents did we get?
You received, believe her bank information, her pay stubs,
Yeah, I'm looking.
and associated bids regarding the price of doing the compliant work. So you kind of had, I think, I'm just not supposed to speak. You had some more information that we don't see usually, but yeah, I think you did had a glimpse into the applicant's current financial situation, so.
Your W-2, yeah.
And W-2s, yes.
Yeah, social security statement and her bank statements.
There was
Yeah.
more there.
Okay, no, yeah, I'm just saying like, okay. Okay.
Further questions, further discussion?
But well, just one related to that, Bob. I think when people, because I think Commissioner Hamilton raises a good point. You have a form for people, or there's like, you give them, hey, here's the list of stuff that you should present if your request is based on financial hardship, correct?
We do not.
You
We don't
don't?
have. No, we've always been instructed to advise the applicants to provide whatever they feel is appropriate to make their case. We don't really have, I mean, I've never given one, and my predecessor did the same way. Maybe there is one, you may have one, you may show me, but we, in my time, and even during Meg's time, we don't have like a list of things that you'll need to check off to provide for our office, so. It's,
I think in my mess here, I might have one. So
you might, and again, you may have something, and I guarantee you, maybe somebody that passed did that, but I've always been told that there's not an X, Y, and Z to give, say you must provide this. We could advise them to, to make your case, provide as much as possible to show that you cannot afford to do whatever. So I work with Gail on that extensively to make sure she could provide information for you to make a decision.
yeah, I don't think there's a dispositive list. I think it's just like, hey, here's some things like you should, if you
Recommend.
want, right?
Right.
A list of potential things to bring, So anyway,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I agree. I think as long as we make everyone aware of that, so people know, because sometimes people just don't know what to ask, I think that would be good. But I mean, I think I looked over her financial documents, and I do think there's a hardship there. I'm just asking for other. So,
I understand. I think if it becomes a written thing, like if you don't provide all these things, and it gets kind of, yeah. I know
Yeah,
what you're saying.
no, just maybe like suggested documents to bring, just so some people just don't know or don't know what to ask. So
I agree with that. I do think it's important to note though also that the neighborhood is in support of this, which I know in some cases in the past when we've looked at roofs, we haven't had that neighborhood buy-in as well. I think that's important as well. Just wanted to note that.
Further discussion? Hearing none. Bob, call a roll.
David Richardson,
yes.
Captain Hamaker. Catherine.
Yes, sorry,
There she
yes.
is. Oh, no, there she is. I had to let her back in.
Okay, we can only count one of those yeses, Catherine.
Tiffany Hamilton,
yes,
Mike Colleen,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
and Mr. Kelly.
Yes.
That's all ayes.
Okay, the appeal is granted. Commissioners, I believe this concludes the items on our agenda. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second,
Without any objection, we
previous
stand
roll.
adjourned. Without any objection, we stand adjourned.
Thank you all for everything. We'll be in touch for March soon. It's coming up quick. It's less than a month away. So
Thank you.
thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Appreciate you.
Thank you,
oh
everyone.
Bob, I won't
Oh.
be at March, Bob. I won't be in March, sorry.
That's just not acceptable, Tiffany. I'm sorry.
I'll be in Florida. Okay.
Hey, Catherine came in from freaking Italy, right? You can come in
Yeah.
from Florida.
Okay.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
All right.